Okay, in today's lesson, we're going to transform cubic and cube root functions. So you're going to want to pull out your pink notes and look at the back side of the pink notes. And we're on to the second page now. We're going to look at the cubic function and the cube root function. So let's start with cubic. Cubic just means y to the third. So to set up some parent points, let's just start with the easiest points we can with the origin and like 1 and 2 and develop our parent points to graph, okay? So if I know the equation looks like this, y x to the third. So if x is 0, and I plug that in the equation, 0 cubed is 0, right? So I know it's going to start here at the origin. Then if I put in a 1 for x and I cube it, 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. So that looks pretty simple. Now if I put in a 2, all right, well, the 2 cubed, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 more is 8. All right, so that gives me 8. 2 over 2, up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gives me very top of the graph. Okay, now let's do the same thing, but on the negative side. So it's negative 1 cubed. So it's negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1. Well, it becomes negative 1, right? It stays negative. And you will see the same thing happens with the 2. I cube the 2 and I get the 8, but the negative keeps it negative. So what's happening is I'm going to go left 1, down 1. I'm going to left 2, down 8. All right, so what you can see is it kind of does the snake pattern. This is the cubic function. Now, I'm going to rewrite my point. Think of my points as, ordered pairs here, and that's going to help us in the future. So take a moment and write these ordered pairs on your paper if you haven't already. Now let's come back and look at the properties. All right, look at my domain. It goes from left to right, you have arrows, so it's going to be all real numbers. So if I do this in set notations, x such that x is an element of all real numbers. Interval notation will be negative infinity to positive infinity. The range, notice it's going from negative to positive, straight up and down. So it's going to be y such that y is an element of all real numbers. And in interval notation, negative infinity to positive infinity. My x-intercept is at the origin, 0, 0, and it is also the y-intercept at the origin, okay? There are no asymptotes on this, so I can just say none. Now, the cube root function. Hopefully, you can see that these two are inverses of one another, right? How do I undo this? Well, I take the cube root. So an easy way to graph that cube root function is to come back to our points, all right? Go back to the points that we had here and, do this on your paper. So if I do this, y equals now the cube root of x, what's going to happen is in my ordered pairs, I'm going to do it this way, they're inverses. So by definition, inverses means the x and the y switch. So I'm going to have a point at that. If I take the 0, 0 and I switch it, I get 0, 0, right? The 1, 1 doesn't really look like it changes. Now the 2, 8 will now become 8, 2. That's what an inverse function does. The negative 1, it won't change. Negative 2, negative 8, it will. It'll be negative 8, negative 2. So notice I've just flip-flopped the x and y coordinates to get from the cubic to the cube root function. So what does that look like when you graph it? Well, let's see. 0, 0 is still there. 1, 1 is still there. Now I'm going to go over 8 and up 2. So I'm going to come all the way over here, up 2. So this thing turns like that. And then on the other side, I go down 1, over 1. Now I'm going to go left 8, down 2. So there it is. Now hopefully you can see like it's this guy turned on its side. Remember that y equals x line that we talked about as the inverse line? It reflects across that. So if you can imagine picking this up and folding it over this way, this is what you would get. And this is your inverse function of a cubic function, or the cube root function. All right, so let's go back and look at properties of the cube root function, knowing what we know now. Look at my domain. It still is going left to right in the infinite direction. So x such that x is an element of all real numbers. Interval notation would be negative infinity to positive infinity. Look at the range. What's happening to the range? Yes, the arrows are pointing left and right, but they're slightly up and down as well. So it's still going to be y is an element of all real numbers. There's no break in it. So in interval, negative infinity to positive infinity. Notice my x and y-intercept really didn't change. It's still at the origin for both y-intercept and x-intercept. And again, there are no asymptotes on this thing. Now, what you want to do is keep in mind these points as you get used to graphing these, because we're going to do transformations on your assignment today. So you're going to need to know like 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 8, and then reverse them for the cube root function. So let's pull out your paper for the next part of this lesson. Okay, so on your worksheet today, we are going to state the transformations with regard to our parent function, and we're going to graph each function. So if you kind of zoom out and look at your page, we have the cubic functions down the left side, and then we have the cube root functions down on the right side. So for example's sake, I've just created this little sticky note here to help us remember the core points that we have with the cubic function. Remember, these are the parent function points that we found. This will help us as we do transformations of these functions. But first, let's look at these and apply what we know about transformations. So on the first one, we know that that plus 5 means it's going to move left 5 and down 2. All right, so I'm going to move left 5, down 2, down by origin is there. So then I'm going to apply those points that we've talked about before, and we know that we go right 1, up 1, right 2, up 8. And then we go left 1, down 1, left 2, down 8, and there's my cubic function. Okay, notice it kind of has a positive slope on it. That's not surprising since it has a positive coefficient out front. Let's look at number 2. All right, so look at number 2 here. We have this minus 4 means it's going to be moving right 4, or turning point. We're going to go right 4. And this is a vertical shrink by 1/2. And notice the negative. That means it's a vertical reflection. Okay, so let's apply that. So really, we just need to move right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Vertical shrink. That means it's going to affect the y values in our points here. So to make this easier, what I'm going to think about is taking that negative 1/2 and applying the reflection and the shrink all at once to the y values, okay? So as I move right 1, instead of going up 1, I'm going to go down 1/2. And then as I move over 2, instead of going up 8, I'm going to go down 4. All right, and then the same is true. As I go left 1, I'm going to multiply that negative 1 times negative 1/2, making it positive 1. So I'm only going to go up 1/2. Over 2, I'm going to go up 4. All right, so there it is. There's my function. Notice it has a downward slope, like a negative slope, just like you would think. Now let's look at number 3. That negative is now on the inside. So that means a horizontal reflection. So remember, that's going this way across the y-axis. I'm going to show you how to do that. And the minus 2 just means I'm taking that origin point down 2 points. Now, what's happening now is I'm going to take those cubic points and the x values I'm going to multiply by negative 1. So watch this. Let's just move that origin down 2. 1, 2. Now, what I normally would do going right 1, I'm going to go left 1 and up 1. I'm going to go right 2. Instead of right 2, I'm going to go left 2 and up 8. Okay, and then opposite is true as well. I'm going to go right 1, down 1, right 2, down 8. And there's my shape. Now, notice it's kind of got that downward slope, right? That negative slope. And I also want you to notice this. The vertical reflection And the horizontal reflection did the same thing. So make yourself a little note here. Vertical reflection and a horizontal reflection do the same thing graphically, okay? So they look the same. It switched the slope, right? They both became like negative slopes. So it's hard to tell from a graph which one really happened. So I'm not going to ask you to tell me that from a graph. So let's switch gears and let's come over here and look at the cube root functions and see what our parent points are for that. Okay, so here's my cube root functions. Remember, they're just the inverse points, inverted x and y's of the original. So that's where I got these, okay? So the 3 is a vertical stretch. By 3. The plus 2 means I'm moving left 2, and the 4 means I'm moving down 4 since it's negative. So the vertical means I'm going to take the y values and multiply them by 3 on my points here. All right, so let's look at this. I'm going to move left 2 and down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, starting here. Normally I would go over 1, but now I'm going to go over 1 and up 1, but now I'm going to go over 1 and up 3. Then the next point says I'm going to go over 8. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. And I'm going to go up instead of 2, I'm going to go up 6. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there's that. And then we're going to go the other direction. So I'm going to go left 1, down 3. And then from my origin, I'm going to go left 8 and down 6. All right, so here's my origin, and now look at it. It's still that square root number. Oops, I didn't go down 2, did I? There we go. There, it should go down 2 there. So you can see the cubic thing just kind of got a little fatter. Like sideways is just going a little fatter. Now, this will get easier with time, so don't worry too much about that. Let's move. Okay, let's look at number 5. So the negative 1/2 means a vertical reflection. It's going to be a vertical shrink by 1/2, so that's going to affect my y values. I'm going to multiply my y values by negative 1/2. And the -1 means I'm going to move right 1 for that. So I'm going to move right 1 for our origin, our new origin. Now, my x movement is going to stay the same. The y movement is going to get multiplied by negative 1/2. So I'm going to move right 1, but instead of up 1, I'm going to go down 1/2 because 1 times 1/2 is negative 1/2. And I'm going to go right 8. And I'm going to go down, instead of 2, I'm going to go down a whole 1. Then moving to the left, I'm going to go up 1/2 because negative times negative makes a positive. And then I'm going to go right 8. And I'm going to go up 1. So notice what this did. This shrunk it down vertically, and it turned it to like a negative slope. Do you see the negative slope kind of thing going on here? So it shrunk it down vertically. Let's look at this number 6 here, okay? Notice this time that the negative is on the inside of the radical. That means it's going to be a horizontal reflection. Remember, that's flipping across the y-axis. And really, that's the only change we have here, okay? We're flipping our x values. We're switching the sign of our x values, basically. So start at 0, 0. So when I normally would go right 1, I'm going to go left 1 and up 1. I'm going to go left 8 up to, because I'm basically multiplying my x values by that -1 right there. It's affecting the x's. Now, going the other direction, where I normally would go left 1, I'm going to go right 1 and down 1, and then I'm going to go right 8 and down 2. And that will give me my horizontally reflected cubic function. Now, again, I want you to kind of lean back and look at what just happened here. Okay, I'm going to move my sticky note. Look at what just happened here. When we look at a vertical reflection here and a horizontal reflection here, didn't it do the same thing? So what we said before about vertical and horizontal reflections doing the same thing with the cubic function, it also does the same thing with the cube root function. So that makes it a little bit easier to remember. All right, so hopefully you begin to see that pattern. And as you do your practice today, you'll get better at these. They go faster. I think it's helpful to have like these parent points kind of known in your head and memorized as a point to help you get there faster, okay? You don't have to, but I sure think it really makes a big difference. Okay, good luck, and we'll see you in class.